Very quickly before this video starts, I want to give a shout out to my new Instagram page. I created an Instagram page finally just for this channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. I haven't posted any pictures yet, but once I do you'll know, because you should follow my page and then you'll know. But yeah, it's going to be anything to do with the channel, so anything music related, maybe movie related things, or even comic book related stuff could make the Instagram as well. So just follow me on there, and fingers crossed it goes okay, and we'll see. Anyway, on with the video. Hey guys, Alex back again. Bit of a different video, something I've been wanting to do for a while. Never got around to doing it, so I figured I'll just do one really quickly, just to see how this works out. This is my, well, in case you couldn't tell by the title, this is my top 10 favourite opening tracks. Now keep in mind this is not set in stone, and this is just how I'm feeling right now. It's also just my opinion, so if you guys have a different opinion, please let me know down in the comment section below. But let's get on with this. Top 10 favourite opening tracks. There's obviously loads I could have mentioned, loads I wish I could have talked about, but I want to start off with a late addition to the list, one that only just barely made the cut, and that is Everything Everything. The track is called Night of the Long Knives. Amazing track. Taking it from a standpoint of a pure fan, of a real, or from the reviews I've read of this album, it's not their best work when comparing it to the rest of their discography. So that's why I had to pick this one, because Night of the Long Knives kind of gives you the impression that this album will be just like everything else in their discography, and then you listen to every other track and it's really not. Even though it's my favourite album by them and I love every song on this album, taking it from a standpoint of the reviews that this album has received, it's not their best work, but Night of the Long Knives is an amazing track, an amazing opener. So I've got to give it credit for that. So there it is. Next album up is an 80s album. Shocking, right? Actually, there aren't too many 80s albums on this list. This is probably, looking through really quickly, this is the only album on this list from the 80s. So, I don't know what to say really, but it is Shout by Tears for Fears. When they released The Hurting, everyone was questioning their second album. Could they do any better? How are they going to be able to top The Hurting? They really did a good job with this album right here. Really good stuff. Shout, of course, the opening track. Amazing, amazing song. 80s classic, and of course Disturbed covered it. I think in, was it 2000? They covered it. And Disturbed the hell out of that song, but well, I say Disturbed, I mean like they made it their own. But yeah, great song, fantastic 80s album, classic 80s album. Gotta have it. Awesome stuff. Now this next one is a bit questionable, because yes, this artist does have better opening tracks. Yes, this artist has better opening, well, obviously I just said he has better opening tracks, but this is in no means my favourite album by this artist. But it's a popular album amongst fans, so I had to put it quite, well, in this list. And it was a toss-up between this and, what's the opening track from Changes? I forget. But I went with 5 Years by David Bowie, of course, from Ziggy Stardust. Now, because I didn't have because I don't have a copy of Changes, I couldn't include it in this list. So I had to go with 5 Years, but going over the albums and listening to them, I probably think this is my favorite of the opening tracks. It's not, like I said, it is not my favorite album by any means, but definitely is a great opening song for just any situation really, and or you know, it just opens up the album so perfectly, so beautifully. It's uncanny, it really is, but it's nice and it's good. Next one is kind of not really fair to include it in this list because one, it is actually a cover version, and secondly, it is a live album. And I just need to double check that but it doesn't matter. Anyway, the track I went with is Catfish Blues from Gary Clark Jr.'s live album. Yeah, it's a cover. I think it's Muddy Waters' cover. I could be wrong on that. Correct me if I am wrong, but yeah, he covers Catfish Blues and it's the opening track on this album. So it is a little unfair to include it, but for that sole reason, that is why it's only this low on the list. I would have put it higher, but it wouldn't have been fair. And it's just an all-round fabulous album anyway. So, but yeah, it's just great stuff. Very underrated artist actually, Gary Clark Jr. So, it's a shame his cover of Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder did not make this album, but I think he covered that later on in his career from this album, so it's no wonder. But his cover of Catfish Blues is still incredible, so had to give that track its due. Okay, next is Hello by Ice Cube. Now, some people may argue that he has better opening tracks. Personally, I don't. Given comparing it to his other albums, this is not his best album, production-wise or lyrically, even though it's my favorite album by him. But Hello is just the perfect opening track for this album, with Dr. Dre and MC Ren featuring on it as well. It just gives off NWA vibes. It really is the perfect old school hip hop track, I would say, even though it's from the 2000s. It is just incredible, and I do love it, and it's a great album. I mean, it's not a great album, no way his best work, his best material, but Hello is probably one of his best songs he's ever done, and for it to make this album and to open it, just incredible stuff. So I had to put this on the list. Next one is kind of a given, I'll admit. And I do believe this band has other opening tracks as well that could have also made the list, but this is just the most iconic, and that is We Will Rock You by Queen. Of course, had to make the list, even though it has two really good opening tracks, or the first two tracks are both really good. This is arguably Queen's best work, so I had to include it, even though We Will Rock You is very popular. Even if you're not a Queen fan, you still love We Will Rock You. But yeah, just fabulous stuff by Queen, and the perfect opening track to the perfect album, the almost perfect album. So I had to give that one some credit. Next up on the list is actually one that is in no way my favourite band, but had to be included. It's Bubba O'Reilly by The Who. Now, the song Bubba O'Reilly has, I think, somewhat some sentimental value, because it was the opening track to a TV show that I used to watch all the time. I don't remember specifically which one, because I used to watch similar shows all the time, but there was one in particular that had Bubba O'Reilly as the opening track, and when I listened to that song, I always wanted to find it, and when I did find it on a copy of The Story of The Who, I went cuckoo, and so I'm waiting for a nice copy of this. Anyway, I'm digressing, but yeah, Baba O'Riley has some sentimental value to me, and for that reason I had to include it in this video, in this top 10. One that is a bit of biasry here, but I would easily include it. It's Too High by Stevie Wonder. In fact, all 4 of the first 5 tracks actually on this album are all fantastic, but I have to go with the opening track. So Too High makes the list. Amazing song, just amazing, and one of his best albums without a doubt, from start to finish. It is just incredible, fantastic work, fantastic opening track to what I would call the perfect album. So there it is, Too High by Stevie Wonder. In the number 2 spot, another artist I could have picked so many different opening tracks for, but I went with the one that to me again has a lot more sentimental value to me, and that is Good Times Bad Times by Led Zeppelin. Now, here's my reasoning for this. I know a lot of people would say Immigrant Song and Whole Lot of Love are better than Good Times Bad Times, but to me, when I first got this album and I listened to Good Times Bad Times, my reaction was memorable, just absolutely memorable and stunning and amazing, and I couldn't have asked for a better start to an obsession with Led Zeppelin. So for that reason, that's why I'm going with Good Times Bad Times. But yeah, just a fantastic album in as a whole, and it's incredible. It's almost perfect. And the last one actually is biased because they are my favorite band. It's Arctic Monkeys. The track is Do I Wanna Know, even though the whole album from start to finish is one of the best albums you'll ever hear. I have to go with the opening track. Do I Wanna Know was a hit by itself, and that hit increased the popularity of this album because it was not liked by Arctic Monkeys fans when it first came out. But it is a fantastic album. It really is. But the opening track just opens it so beautifully and so well, and gives you a really good introduction to one of the band's best albums, one of their best pieces of work that they've ever put out there. And I love it so much. It's just incredible. And well, there is some biasry there. Do I Want to Know is the song that introduced me to Arctic Monkeys, and I know that could be considered cliche to say, but ever since I heard Do I Want to Know, I have had an obsession with Arctic Monkeys. So I've got to include this song in there, and I've got to put it high on the list, and I'm going to put it as number 1. I don't even care. Alright, so didn't use up as much time as I thought we would, but there we go. My top 10, as of right now, favourite opening tracks. Let me know what you guys would consider your top 10 favourite opening tracks, and you know, just down in the comment section below. Hello to any new subscribers. Please make sure you hit the bell so you automatically know when I upload next. Welcome back to any new subscribers, and please let me know what you thought of this video, because maybe I'll do some more. But with that, Alex Spins Vinyl, out. Peace.